Timos if they want to go. Obviously, they don't have Loki. Now, guys, you can see right here with the bans and the picks on just how this is going to unfold. And it's looking like JOBLESSBUMS is going to go with Ultons there on Punisher, comfortable where they were yesterday. British Tree and Vinny locking in. We've got the group v group, Vicky.
This is what we wanted. This is what we asked for. And on Hell's Heaven, this is one of the newer maps, and I feel like this is going to really work out here. If you're looking at the way that this map layout is, in my personal opinion, Cozy, I feel like it could be really difficult if you're on the attacking side here, looking to see how this is going to be able to be approached. But I was actually thinking about Ultron's latest map. Going on to Hell's Heaven, though, this is another one of my favorite maps where in that middle point, sometimes if you get a nice play, you can find yourself off the map in that middle side. So looking at how everything's going to play out already side by side, let's get it started for a very first game of the day.
Yeah, Solaris, this is where they were able to get the game on Envy. Could we see a similar result? The domination is how we start things off in map 1. Loser picks the next game between Convoy and Convergence, and we start right here, right now, as we've got 100 Thieves going down to Lina being that Hella that we know, looking for those flank angles early, looking them to take in this early side. We're going to see if we can get a pick on the DPS, but everyone else taking that main lane.
Ready, trying to take control with some of this poke pressure here from TTK. Delena, as you mentioned, already going into that position over to the side here, but these Groot walls already putting in a little bit of that pressure that we were expecting. I love the horizontal Groot wall too on top of that pillar before he gets destroyed. Ready, starting off here with TTK taking a lot of damage, forcing his way to back away.
Yeah, Delena getting that key pick on Valk. That's what we were saying, getting those off angles, and we don't have a Hella to contest Delena. It's going to be difficult. Nice pumping of damage here from Ultons, getting a lot of pressure built early on. They got to make up for the damage lost by Valk out of there, and with the ultimates almost charged up already for Harvey and Forky.
And Delena gets away with murder once again. That's 2 KOs already. And that's JOBLESSBUMS looking for a reset, losing out on 3 early on. They will have 2 of that strategist ults to at least try to approach, as we can't even get away. Tara gets the follow-up.
Yeah, this is what I love. I've watched a lot of Delena, and you can tell when that man is on, and he is on right now, getting 2 crucial picks to open up that fight. Going into it, we have both support ultimates here for JOBLESSBUMS to help open up. But 100 Thieves have everything they need to continue the pressure, and Tara doesn't need an ultimate. He's just going to hold down the trigger and get those E-lins.
Really depends on how Ben is going to utilize this Meteor of M here from JOBLESSBUMS. The moment that 100 Thieves is forced to use out Melania with that Luna Snow ult here too, Punisher ult v Punisher Bolt. Who is going to be the one with that final judgment? Here comes that Meteor. Ben is the one that finds Tara, though, off to the side. Another Meteor coming in. It's not going to find a mark either, but Delena with the 3K, the save right afterwards once the Groot ult comes out, and 100 Thieves, they already showcase how dominating they are with another team fight win.
3 thorns and a tree with Groot to cap it off. That was a beautiful back-to-back headshot there from Delena. Nicely done there. We saw the Punisher light show as they're going to portal right in, trying to get the contest going. And it's madness as Ben is going to back out because Tara taking out British Tree immediately with that shotgun.
And then the Groot walls too on top of it, just putting something over to their side here as a Psylocke ult Dance of the Butterflies comes in, forcing JOBLESSBUMS to start getting something moving. They did lose out on Forky Dog earlier on here too, but 100 Thieves, they see the Groot walls in front of them. They're still putting on the pressure. Tara uncontested here side by side with Harvey.
Yeah, this is where they're going to have to take advantage. They have 2 down. Ben is going to fall, but this is where they're going to have to push in. Ulton's trying to make that statement happen. Getting good positioning with that smoke grenade of Punisher. Valk now looking for maybe a side elimination there. Looking for Delena, but TTK showing why he's the top tier kid. And British Tree right now is getting absolutely torn down. And it's been a rough one so far for Jobless. Let's see if they can take it back together.
TTK has just not let British Tree have any sort of movement, any sort of space. And Delena gets another pick off to the side against Valk, who has been trying to go for more of these flanking angles, just has been shut down constantly.
Yeah, they have to figure out how to work at Delena here because Valk, it's not the answer. Now look at that. Valk is going to go to Hella to see if he can go to get more contests on those off angles. And just like that, Tara, though, in the meantime, burning down the Vanguards and just absolutely tearing up a new one as their ultimates already locked and loaded, and they won't even have to use it to get this point as we head into the second map.
And that's even through the Luna Snow Fate of both worlds activated from JOBLESSBUMS. 100 Thieves, they've came and they've delivered, already showcasing the amount of damage output that they are laying onto JOBLESSBUMS.
I mean, it was a great job all around, but I've got to highlight just the insane play there. Per usual of Terra, but also Delina with those flank hits. I mean, he set up those openings and the rest just snowballed into it. I mean, we just did the damage graphic. Look at the difference between Vinny and British Tree right now, too. 5 versus 9. Massive damage block. We can see who's the better Groot at the moment.
So we wanted to highlight these two individual players. British Tree struggling a lot within that first round. Vinny's placement too with the walls have been chef's kiss. Looking to see how that's going to continue now going on to the second round.
Yeah, keep in mind, guys, this is without SJP, and we have a sub-in of Millennia, which, if you guys have not noticed, they're making it look seamless, and that's what top teams do. SJP being a great Luna, but Millennia just stepping right up to the plate. We'll see if me and Forky can do the same. But it all comes down to, A, taking care of Delina, and then we're going to see if British Tree is able to not get picked so much. But we have Ultin style doing the Hella v Hella instead of Val.
Also, the ult economy too, favoring 100 Thieves to try to take this point first. Seeing with Terra getting absolutely melted, British Tree is going to get that first opening blow onto 100 Thieves. You see the walls being set up here too as Delena has that 1v1, the Magneto shield just to help out JOBLESSBUMS for Ultin to get enabled. Here comes the fate of both worlds here too over to the other side while Forky Dog keeps everybody from JOBLESSBUMS alive here with the Eternal Bond. Everybody's having their own dance party while the Eternal Bond on the other side now from 100 Thieves tries to keep them alive in this fight.
Ooh. It has to hit that, and he does get the connection in the slam dunk from downtown half court. But Vinny and the entangling Christian gets the job done on the other side. The Vanguards taking over business for 100 Thieves. Great job, Eternal Bond working overtime and the slam dunk, but it wasn't enough for 100 Thieves and their elite tank players.
Imagine being Ben in that perspective. You get that slam dunk, Kobe from a mile away. You turn behind you, and Vinny and company have already pushed your entire backline out to the spawn.
Yeah, no one to celebrate with them. They're all there in the spawn point, and fortunately, as Vinny and Go are putting the pressure up and continuing to force the team to go the way they want, they're forcing them up on the high ground here. I love the approach here from Val and Ultins. Let's see if Ultins can get this pick. If you can open up with this, this will set the team up for success to get the cap. It's at 31%.
Also really like the approach too, coming in from high ground with Delena being the only one to really poke at them as Valk activates the final judgment here. Protection with the Magneto shield forces 100 Thieves to back away with JOBLESSBUMS finally having some progress on this point.
Yeah, and they didn't use the Luna. Oh, they didn't use the Luna ult there for the Punisher, but Luna is going to go down there, unfortunately, to Delina. Good pressure, kind of pseudo take making for the Punisher. We've got TTK up with the purple and down. Unable to get anything with the Eternal Bond out on the field, but great pressure. Right now, the point does belong to Jobless, which is great for these extended fights as Terra goes final judgment mode and ends 2, now 3. And he's going to make it 4.
And that was right through me, who shows up late to the party after being the first one to get picked. Now it's going to be a stagger. And that was still a used up fate of both worlds from JOBLESSBUMS.
Yeah, 100 Thieves saw FlyQuest go to SideQuest yesterday, and they're like, nope, not us. We are going to play our top tier game right here, right now, and everybody's playing at an elite level as a unit should. And we have been going to Captain America, maybe trying to get a little bit more survival, a little different approach, because obviously what has happened so far has not worked.
See, with this change up here, if they can at least try to harass the backline, just a little bit of Delena on fire here. Already harassing the change up from Ben being on that Captain America. Landing a lot of these shots here also. Has that Goddess of Death ready to go just in case he need to go in for a reset.
Yeah, great use of the bubble here to keep everybody alive. Been trying to get some type of pickup because Delina has been doing that for 100 Thieves, constantly making this a 5v6. And Delina trying to put more pressure on that back line here. And Valve just trying to get any room of poke damage in, seeing if they can get it. But here it goes. Let's see if TTK can finish the job. And together, they all fall down, grouped up and dealt with.
TTK with the sneaky play, though. At the same time, where is he looking? Right, left here. The meteor comes crashing down and wipes them from being able to contest. They have to try to go in with this Doctor Strange portal.
That quick portal here, they have plenty of ultimates. Going to open up here potentially with the Luna into the ultins. There's Terra up top. Going down every ult ultimate on. This is the fireworks show of ultimate play. Looks like an MCU film as Ultimate does get the pick on Terra, taking down Millennia. This could be their point, and they already have 35% to fight back, but they used a lot of resources to do so.
They had to. They had no other choice, but the priority target was absolutely there too for Ultins to make sure that Terra could go down here. Jobless Bums, they have the advantage, the man advantage, and now are going to be able to finally retake that point.
This Valve finally showing the 1-2 there, and I love what I'm seeing from Jobless Bums. Playing loose, exactly what they wanted to do yesterday, and what we saw yesterday as this team has made their way in here. Now looking at, we do have Millennia with an ult of Luna that's going to be tough to contest, but we do have the Eternal Bond as well to the Agamotto. If they set this up right, they can also get this thing to 99%.
Now they're going to try to navigate around it. Vinny as well is so close to getting that strangling prison. That knockdown, finding the KO onto Ultins. Here comes that Eye of Agamotto from British Tree, but they lost out on Ultins way earlier. Now they lose on Ben, and this is the ult economy that we're highlighting. Even with the Eternal Bond, 100 Thieves have a lot more to work with, and Jobless Bums have no defensive strategist ults.
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't even need a lot of ults to get the job done. The Vanguard play has been some of the best we've seen in the tournament so far. And again, if you don't know, TTK, controller user. Yes, console players, you can make the dream at the top here because we're seeing it from the best as Vinny is going to sweep up the rest of Ben. And it looks like map 1, game 1, is going to go to 100 Thieves. That looked honestly flawless.
Man, TTK. Top tier kid, you say out here. Well, with the clean 2-0 within this first game here of this first round, first 2 rounds rather, and a great dominating performance too from 100 Thieves. Specifically want to highlight the ult economy and how they cycled through those ults.
Look at this. TTK only got eliminated 1 time, and absolutely, you're right. I've seen TTK look like he deserves to be in the NBA Hall of Fame with some of these slam jams he got, and he did insane today. 13 final hits, deservingly getting that MVP, 20,000 damage. I mean, looking across the board, you only had 1 death for 3 of the members of 100 Thieves, and the final, like I just said, Millennia did play a lot of Hela for Nightmares, so the pseudo Ultron role would fit him very well here.
Well, Jobless Bums don't have Punisher banned for them. So, you know what? If this ends up being a problem, looking at Terra being on that torch, they at least have some countermeasures to consider here as we get set up. Because you know that Midtown absolutely benefiting Flyers, just trying to get out of the line of sight, get tricky with it here too. So that could be detrimental as we get started.
Yeah, Flyers going to have a big advantage here, and they are going to need to lean on that Punisher if they do so. I mean, Psylocke, we see a lot of Delina play on that hero too on this particular map because, again, a lot of corridors to go through, so Val could find some more success even though it wasn't there on map 1. You know, sometimes it's just not there, but on this map, it could easily be a different story as we have the setups happening down the elevator of the Fantastic Four Baxter building and into the streets of Midtown.
Okay. We're getting set up here too. Interesting to see. Over on the defense side, the Penny coming out with the rocket.
Now look at this aggression right away from Terra, just laying it on them early. Again, they try to push up here so they can get 3 potential holds on defense if things go wrong at the beginning of this point. And they're just taking it to them. I love the setup for British Tree, though, as Penny Parker getting a little thing established in there that the team can retreat into, get some heals, and it works beautifully. Delina going down as that Moon Knight kind of cheeky pick, but they're able to rain down and get that pressure constantly and trying to get this team out of there.
Look at the way, but they're all funneled inside of this room. Ults galore here as Forky with that damage output put out by Terra allows Forky to have that Eternal Bond just as fast to counter the Supernova from Terra. Viddy also having that Strangling Prison. You're gonna have to be careful looking out for that if you're gonna conjoin yourself together in that room. It's the tried and true bread and butter coming in from Delena just to completely annihilate Jobless Bums. But me also being able to have that Luna Snow ult is gonna keep Jobless Bums alive as British Tree was at first to fall.
I mean, Khonshu is happy and I'm happy. I'm a Moon Knight player myself. And to see Delina play a little Season 1 special of Groot into Moon Knight ult, it's a classic. And Terra taking down Ben, TTK following that up into Cloak. But that's what you love to see is new ways to combine ults, and this is a great map to do so.
Yo, he got his ult. That's how you know how much damage he's putting in. Delina got their ult literally back to back within like 10 to maybe 15 seconds. Absolute insane damage output.
Well, it was like the perfect counter strategy to then having that Penny Parker and kind of keeping the inside, and then you just get the Delina to go crazy there. Ben, though, getting a huge pick right away, but we're going to have Delina respond.
I just witnessed a crime. They just kidnapped them, and then TTK just saw the light of day back into the spawn room. But Vinny, with the answer back on the complete portal play, gets shut down as JOBLESSBUMS back to the drawing board.
Yeah, just it takes that portal right away from the wizard. And as we head into this bend here, we do have the entangling prison that's going to set up massive. Millennia also having that invisible boundary ready to go. Jobless not much here, so they're going to have to do a little bit of farming, but they can open up with that internal bond. We'll see if they keep the pressure on or if they try to farm a bit for this back point.
Also slowly approaching that fate of both worlds too from that Luna Snow, but look for Vinny right now having that strangling prison, as Forky Dog will be able to answer back with the eternal bond if they're not the ones caught up in it. Nice save right there too with the mag shield. There goes the eternal bond, but it may be too little too late. Conchu has something else to say. 100 Thieves with another wipe from each attempt from JOBLESSBUMS.
I mean, good gosh, Moon Knight just charges ult so quickly in this game with those crescent darts bouncing so fast. And you also have that little bit of invisibility with the team up for Cloak 2. I'm digging Delina playing something pretty different than what we have seen him play in that hit scan hero. Yes, you know, Moon Knight, can pull off some crazy things, but this is not what we've seen from this 100 Thieves team in the past here, as we do have Valk flexing over to Wolverine.
And Ultins, I'm not surprised, also trying to counterpick Terra, who's been a terror in the skies, by the way. You saw all that damage output, what we highlighted earlier on. Delena going over to the Ultron so quick to actually make the adjustment towards JOBLESSBUMS, making this change up.
Now, Terra could play anything, truly, and this is a great job from Valk switching over. They need to handle Vinny because that shuts down 2 and 1. Delina now going over to the Ultron, going to give some team up there. They saw the Wolverine, they made the switch. Love to see it. Terra here ready to go and trying to hide from Ultins, who does have that final judgment. Supernova in response, and it doesn't do much. Neither ult getting the picks they want, but Ultins finally getting Delina from the sky.
This is why Midtown is so good for Flyers. Look at these different corners. Yes, they're all going to focus Terra before Terra could try to retreat, but the healing output from 100 Thieves, the strategist keeping Terra alive. Vinny stung just for a brief moment, took way too much damage as Valk with the Wolverine ult combined together with the Adamantium takes out Vinny and the invisible boundary just to keep 100 Thieves contesting on this point.
A great job there from Valk doing the job they're looking to do against Vinny, and honestly the strategist play has been elite, keeping both teams up. But Millennia getting the last laugh on Forky Dog. Strategist v strategist elimination. Me ulting up, trying to keep the team alive, but Terra a little too late as Ultins goes down.
Ultins be the first to go down with TTK. Also Harvey getting that KO onto British Tree, but TTK had put on the pressure, maybe not landing that meteor, but putting in enough of that damage so that way 100 Thieves to clean up what is left of a JOBLESSBUMS.
It was a decent stall there. There's a minute and 50 on the clock. They're going to have one more defense here and maybe 2 with the portal if they push it. But they have to get down there first. And Terra really putting pressure and damage on them early. And the really only response they have is British Tree is going to have that meteor in. But Delina with the extermination, both healing and damage to keep the team alive and pushing.
You got to pick one if you're British Tree. Do you deal with Delina now with that meteor? Yep, that's the attempt here. But then you have to worry about Terra here in the second checkpoint. It's a lot easier to find that mark with that meteor as a supernova comes out from Terra.
This is not the Age of Ultron right here on this map. This place, love the early ult there, just getting rid of a huge threat. Terra, though, going crazy on the damage, eliminating Valk and a huge vehicle of pressure that's now making not only one go down, but British Tree having to back up as well.
Oh, you have the Hail Mary attempt on the Captain America ult, just trying to keep the contention. As now the judgment comes out here too from Ultins. See the beautiful invisible boundary from Melania too, just to make sure everybody stays alive as Ultins gets a huge pick onto Terra here.
Yeah, good. That was huge. Their great combo of work, but we have another combo coming into play. Vinny throwing down the Entangled Prison. Can they get the piece together? No. Keeping alive is Forky Dog and that internal bond coming in clutch. They're just getting good trades as Ultins is finally getting the pressure putting Harvey back. But Ben falling down to Delina. This is about even.
That was a beautiful ult cycle from the strategist of JOBLESSBUMS right there. Between me and Forky Dog, that's why they were able to survive through that imprisonment here. And Delena now with the Ultron ult is going to force them back. British Tree, oh, Eclipse on the other side of the room here. Oh no, this forces them back. They can't try to show face here. Delena now just trying to buy time as the time is dwindling away.
Yeah, Millennia setting up the invisible boundary, even more pressure. That was unfortunately just not the right time for that Meteor M to get the job done, but Terra taking down Valk in return.
No follow from the Agamotto too. Ben now continuously pops that Captain America just the best way they can try to stay alive here and keep contesting with overtime ticking away. Here comes the Punisher Judgment, and he immediately gets deleted. Put him in the microwave here because Tara stays being uncontested. Still the problem as Tara finds British Tree next.
And Vinny putting up the walls to block off me, trying to do the ultimate for Luna, keep the team alive, how to make their way through all the chaos. That what is Groot doing best. They're now taking and trading, and they land the hit. Yes, they can on me. They're making it huge. Get the other strategists, and TTK now pushing forward, and they're going to get this point.
TTK is on another level. Top tier kid for a reason. Even with limited time, they finally get to the second checkpoint here versus Jobless Bums.
I've got to say, Vicky, though, pretty proud of Jobless Bums there. I think they did a good job. Much better, obviously, than the domination map of just showing that they're here, and they're here for a reason in this upper bracket. Almost taking 100 Thieves out on this second point. They've got to lock in, though. They've got a minute and 11 to keep it from being 3.
Ultins understands exactly what his job is, and it's to keep harassing Tara and Delena. Being some of these first initial picks have been incredibly detrimental to winning a lot of these fights from Jobless Bums.
How do you feel putting Captain America here and their game plan of putting the pressure on? Usually there for a little bit of a Magneto bounce back. About that?
I feel like it's necessary to at least put the attention of 100 Thieves backline, right? When you still have Delena up in the air, you have Ultin trying to focus on them, but then you don't have the opportunity because TTK gets that first pick. Then it's just a domino effect at this point. British Tree gets sent out, and Ben is going to meet them right back in the spawn, so they have to reset here so that way they don't stagger.
Yeah, unfortunately, if Ultin goes down, they don't have a good way to take down, I don't know, the biggest threat on 100 Thieves, Tara. And just raining from the skies as that 100, as that Human Torch does have that Supernova ready to go. Millennia and Harvey on action too for the Ultimates. This is going to be a very tough point to contest. British Tree's going to have to nail this Meteor M.
Gotta do it with Vinny. Also very close to getting that strangling prison here too. Supernova active. Tara doesn't get shot out of the skies with Ultis even having that judgment as he pops it right now. The Meteor following up, keeping them alive between Harvey and Forky Dog. It's eternal bonds galore. All the magical colors showing up on that screen with TTK getting that pick up to Ultins is now gonna keep enabling Tara and Delena, the two problems in the sky.
Yeah, great patience there from TTK eliminating Ultins, but yes, you do have May with the ultimate for Luna, keeping everybody alive. The fate of both worlds doing its job in overtime. 12 seconds in mortality, but Val is going to see if they can finish off the rest, and it's not doing much in the reverse. Luna, Hera, swapping the script here.
Yeah, you find Harvey here. Millennial also incredibly low. Literally 1 pixel of health still stays alive, and 100 Thieves have cleared out the front line, have cleared out Jobless Bombs to get this convoy to the finish line.
2 overtime pressures, but too late. They were unable to, Jobless was unable to hold back 100 Thieves there, but a good job. They can pull together, maybe get a better push. They're going to have to lock in. This is their chance to stay in the upper bracket and see what they can do against 100 Thieves. Do you think they change anything up here, Vic?
I mean, they did a really good job. They even counterpicked the changes that we saw from 100 Thieves really early after getting that first checkpoint. Ultins was on top of it. I just also feel like TTK in general was very focused on where Ultin's positioning was to help enable Tara and Delena.
Yeah, Tara too, just always being right there as a constant nuisance and also taking down the biggest threat on the field continually. Looking at the stats here, I mean, just an absolute show once again. Look at TTK with a Cool Breeze 10, but 40,000 damage on 1 push. Tara, are you freaking kidding me?
What? All right, I want everyone to look at this and take this as the example that you have to look up and deal with these flyers. I know it's the summer here, you know, pesky mosquitoes all around, but you got to get your mosquito swatters. You got to make sure that you have something to take care of these flyers. On the side of Jobless Bums, they did. It was Ultins on that Punisher, right? After we saw the swap originally here too, 100 Thieves, they came out of the spawn room gates when they were on the attack with Tara being on the Storage.
No, when Forky and me are working overtime, they have 90,000 healing combined. That's like the Terran damage plus more. You can't ask much more from your strategist play. Got to take care of the skies, though. Again, as you said, the best prescription to get rid of the disease of flyers is looking up.
Wait, and maybe a little bit of some cold weather here because Valk has now gone over to the Hawkeye with me being on that Luna Snow to get that team up.
Yeah, I'd love to see. We didn't see it all that much. We saw it a couple times yesterday. We'll see if they utilize that freeze to get the free headshot and combine some more combos with it. Valk, love to see it. Haven't seen a lot of Hawkeye. I do know he does play it, though. So we'll see if it comes into light here, trying to take down Terra maybe in one blow. Oltens, though, does get the pick on Delena, giving them plenty of space and bin to follow.
Look at the beautiful attention that we just saw there from JOBLESSBUMS. Olten's looking at one flyer. You saw a follow-up between Valk, also being able to get some help onto getting that last pick here. 100 Thieves forced to back away, giving some space down to JOBLESSBUMS.
Yeah, honestly, I love that they've made some adjustments. They realized really what was their big error last time, and that was obviously Terra up in the sky. Now pushing forward, they have greatness ready, but TTK with that meteor imp, can he get the connection? Yes, he does, as Hawkeye goes down the anti-fly. And now with the Groot all together, can they combine internal bond, keeping things alive?
That was a crazy Groot block from Vinny. Now he's enabled. Now he comes in with a strangling prison here too, as the follow-up comes in. The save from JOBLESSBUMS. You've got the fate of both worlds here too, while JOBLESSBUMS stay in this fight. You hear the Magneto Meteor coming in as Terra gets that pick onto Oltens. Make it two now onto British Tree, burning down the forest. That is JOBLESSBUMS forcing them back.
Yeah, me had ult there, and we did have Oltens with his ult as well. I thought maybe Final Judgment would be combined there, and unfortunately too little too late as the Magneto ult to counter Terra Supernova wasn't able to get the job done. But here we go. We got some swaps. Been going to Doctor Strange now, trying to get some pressure. 2 minutes on the clock, still plenty of time.
Sit down pretty if you have to be the Punisher to shoot with your turret right through that portal, but then you have to think about Delena with the Ultron ult gets shot out of the skies. This is why we're seeing these adjustments from JOBLESSBUMS between the Hawkeye and Oltens being on that Punisher.
Yo, Valk showed what's up there. Gets Harvey getting that one shot there on the Hawkeye, getting rid of the supports early, and they're going to get this point because of it. Great job in the neutral there. Not having to use all too much. Oltens with some pressure from the Final Judgment, but overall clean finish to that first checkpoint.
Tell me this is JOBLESSBUMS right now putting on a performance versus 100 Thieves. Yes, 100 Thieves, they may be up an entire game, but looking at the way that JOBLESSBUMS have now readapted around 100 Thieves has been spectacular.
And what I love is the resources available. JOBLESSBUMS, they don't have a coach. They have the game plan, and that's just to play as the unit they've been. Valk, though, with a huge opening on Terra.
That is ginormous. This actually helps out JOBLESSBUMS with their win condition. That is why we're seeing what we're seeing currently from the change-ups from JOBLESSBUMS. Valk here also having that Hawkeye ult ready to go. British Tree as well with that entanglement prison here. So you see Terra now looking over to the side. They try to cover the next corner here from Valk.
Look at this perfect play from 100 Thieves. They grouped together. They knew what was about to come. TTK trying to squeeze it in between that shield, but Vinny instead going to trade them, get Valk out of there. Great strategic play, getting ready for the ultimates they knew were online as Terra finishes off Oltens.
Well, just being taken out is huge because now they could only really focus on Valk being that problem, but this is going to force JOBLESSBUMS just to back away. They're going to respect his space from 100 Thieves looking behind them. And nice group wall just to help protect me and Forky.
This is going to be the next Infinity War here as both teams are going to reset. Look at the ultimates online, ready to go. We're going to get 2 imprisons with the follow-up. But the big thing and the big difference here, Olten's a little far away from any follow-up of British Tree. We have the Supernova ready to go, the combo.
About JOBLESSBUMS, do they have all the stones? That's the question now when they have to deal with Delena being on that Ultron, having that ult here too. But JOBLESSBUMS, they'll be able to contest now with the Eternal Bond. 100 Thieves answer back, doing the same exact thing to mirror that, and here comes the prison as well. Vinny still has his before he now answers back, just so that we can try to keep the rest of JOBLESSBUMS. The Oltens is there as the insurance policy before TTK with the Meteor M comes in to smash their dreams down.
The patience there, the patience from not only TTK, but 100 Thieves. They let JOBLESSBUMS use the ultimates first and really just found the positioning to get the job done, ultimately ending and putting the period with the Meteor M.
Whew. Talk about TTK keeping it ready when he needs it with that ult now. JOBLESSBUMS trying to hold back. 100 Thieves looking on the other side as they try to counter them. 100 Thieves still being off to that side angle here. JOBLESSBUMS Ben does have that ult just in case looking at 100 Thieves, but nothing to really answer back just to force them away here. Trying to find a different angle as British Tree also finds TTK.
That was a good pick there. They're ready to go, like what I saw there. And I'm saying Valk getting these picks earlier are letting him win those fights. If he can keep getting that crucial pick, and right now they have two different things to shut down Harvey's cloak. They've got the mag and they've got the Hawkeye. Great job there for getting the push up a little bit more. They've got 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Keep in mind, 100 Thieves, they only had 1 minute and 10 seconds at this point. So they just keep putting on the gas, no brakes. We'll see Valk here with the Hawkeye ult and get it done.
Got this time bank here. If you get to clear this next corner, you are looking fantastic if you're Jobless Bums. Try to get that breeze here right through that corner wall. Tara feeling the pressure from Ultins, who's stuck on that convoy. Okay, we got the ult here too from Delena.
Yeah, Extermination coming in into the internal bond, but Valk, can he get the headshots that he needs? The openings that have opened up the last two pushes, but here's the imprisonment. Registry trying to get it done, and Valk gets the connection. It's the Avengers assembling before your eyes. They get the 4-piece.
Man, 100 Thieves, they try to do that a defensive ult here. Millennia not going to be able to have that output because it is Jobless Bums Valk with these insane shots here after using the Hawkeye ult to get the space as he's desperately trying to contest with Tara still being alive, was able to slam dunk to contest against Jobless Bums.
And Valk get this pick. It's all on this pick here as he's going to have to go down and make himself vulnerable. And Valk gets the pick on Millennia. That's massive. Here it is, though. We've seen it take TK with not 2, but 3 for the 4th time.
Is it enough here, too? Being able to get that huge ult to the meteor. It looks like it is just enough to dwindle away the time bank from Jobless Bums.
Man, Harvey from downtown. Now, I always hate this when the music goes on and you think you only have like 10 seconds. There's 1 minute and 24 seconds. Calm down, take a deep breath. But huge stop there from 100 Thieves. All the momentum was for Jobless.
He knows how close it is to get Herbie to that finish line here. TTK, clutch moments. Tara's got that supernova as well. Ben with the Meteor M, though, could answer back depending on how they want to approach this. Trying to come in from the flank, breaking through the building.
Yo, no respect for the residents of Central Park, just breaking windows, going through the top there. Johnny Storm raining down hell from above of the supernova, but luckily, everyone's staying alive in that internal bond. Can Owens get the pick? He does. Vinny goes down. This could be the difference here, trying to get the picks through the invisible boundary. We'll see, but Millennia with the huge clutch pick.
And Harvey with the eternal bond was so close to getting it. Gets it at the very end right here, right through Jobless Bums and British Trees. Entanglement gear 2 with that ult. Now you have the Doctor Strange portal. It's a Hail Mary. 30 seconds left from Jobless Bums.
Yeah, 30 seconds left with the portal. They're going to try to, they have time to get the turret in. They're going to see if they can get the pick early. Don't love the angle, but it's not bad. They're able to get some pressure on, forcing them to push away. Love it. Who's going to dive in first to contest this thing? Tara just taking you right to them as Me is going to go and ult on the point. Valk with the follow-up ult. They might be able to pull this off.
I also really like the body block that we also saw right from there, but TTK with another hugely impactful Meteor with the Magneto ult. Jobless Bombs, they lose out onto Me. Was so low here, cannot punish through this Terra damage output, even with the supernova running away with murder as 100 Thieves send Jobless Bombs back to the spawn room door.
Absolutely insane. It's like he's got a freaking cool, just an ability. It's just an ability at this point for TTK. The Meteor in, slamming it down, going crazy. That shows the bend not break mentality, and that is going to be the swan song, at least for the upper bracket for Jobless.
Top tier kid, the controller player, the Magneto, landing double KP, basically back-to-back, double KOs on the side of Jobless Bums is actually insane. 100 Thieves showcasing why they are one